Now, I want to talk about a few other things because there's an ABC drama in the pipeline.
Coming soon.
Paper Giants, The Birth of Cleo. And that, of course, portrays your time as launch editor of the magazine. This is in 1972.
Yes, just, when women's liberation, well, it started really in the 60s, but in Australia it was really gathering momentum in the early 70s. And we, my team and I, we had this opportunity to create Cleo. So the series is really about how that came about, what were we all doing prior to that, how we all got together, how Sir Frank reacted to the new progressive woman that we said Cleo was for, and how we launched it and how the magazine became successful. But it's only the very early years of the magazine.
It promises to be racy, and I think they're going to recreate Jack Thompson's centrefold.
Well, yes, Jack is certainly there, and I did run into Jack at a TV station recently, and he said, that wonderful voice he's got. I said, I hope they're organising a really good body double for me. I said, absolutely, Jack, fear not. I'm having the casting. I'm looking at I'll be on the casting couch. Not on the couch. Hang on, let me rephrase that. But Jack laughed.
It's interesting because, in a way, you've been in public life almost ever since then. That was the moment. It was
the beginning.
Yes. But I'm wondering how it feels to see your life made into entertainment, if you like.
I'm not sure how it feels, to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't looked at the series yet. It's been sent to me, and I'm probably look at it today. But
because you're a consultant on it, aren't you?
Yes, because I gathered together a lot of us who worked on Cleo in the early days. We've kept in touch. Some of us have worked on other projects, but it's a long time since we all gathered together and actually looked back and remembered when. And so we've had some fantastic times, all remembering what we got up to. And, when we get into trouble, the art director and I were continuously getting into trouble for asking too much of the printer. And by that I mean Andrew, the art director, would come up with a wonderful idea, like taking the fashion in black and white and then hand painting them all and then sending them off to the printer. It sounds easy and it sounds terrific. But in those days, remember, we were using film and, printing was different. So to ask the printer to do that, to take black and white, hand-painted colour, that's a big ask. They can do it, but it costs money. So the budget goes up. Well, Andrew and I never really thought about the cost. But, of course, Kerry's cousin Rob Henty did, and boy, did we get into strife, for raising up. But and then Kerry came up and ticked us both off, and we listened very humbly and apologised. And as soon as he left, I said to Andrew, I don't care, I'm glad we did it. And Andrew said, so am I.
Let's do it next month.
Yeah, we'll do it again. But we all had different stories and different memories. And there's one of, I think Annie Woodham, who was my deputy editor, said, at the time we realised we were doing something special, but we didn't realise just how special it was. It's really only when you look back.
Did you get casting approval? Because Asha Keddy plays you, doesn't she?
Asha Keddy does play me, and it's really...
She was Blanche Delbouchet the other year.
She's a very accomplished actress. I went on the set and watched her, and I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, gosh, I think she's walking. I think she's got my walk. There's something about it. And then she's speaking to a newsboy in this particular clip that I was looking at on this day, and I thought, I know that voice. Now, it's not really my voice, but she's got the essence of my voice.
She's got... Because you have a very famous voice, of course.
Yes, but there's something. Because as soon as I heard her speak, I thought, I know that voice. It was just such a bizarre feeling. And then afterwards, we had a few meals together and a few sessions together. On this shoot, she's waving her nails around, and I'm looking at her polish, and I'm thinking, that's my polish. That's my nail polish. And then she's got my lipstick on, and she's got a hairdo on. That she's wearing her hair in a way. I looked at it again and I thought, yeah, I did. I used to wear my hair like that, many years ago. So it's a very odd feeling. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about it all yet. I guess when I've looked at the program, it's still in a rough edit, what I've been sent, but I can get the gist of it from that. I'll have a better idea. But I think secretly, all of us who were on those early days of Cleo are very excited and really touched, actually, that our work should be singled out this way.
It's, nearly 40 years since then, and it's already 40 years since the female eunuch. And I'm very aware that next week we're in the 100th anniversary of International Women's
Yes,
Day.
we are.
We're making a big fuss here on Life Matters. And you're hosting a TV special on Foxtel, I think.
I am, yes. Women Shaping the Nation on the same theme. This is based on a book of 100 women who have contributed to Australia in many different ways over the years. It's a very interesting series because, you know, you work in this field all your life and you know a lot of women and you know a lot about women like I do, and you think you know everything, but no, there's some women in this series and I thought, wow, I'd never heard of them and look what they did. It's fantastic.
What are the most important changes that you've seen in your work and career,
For women?
Yes, women in the workforce in particular?
We have an earning capacity today and a freedom that you couldn't have imagined. When I started work at 15, no one could have imagined that women would have the earning capacity that they have today. I mean, you're talking to a woman who the bank manager refused a bank loan to when I was editor of the Australian Women's Weekly because I was divorced and a mother of two. I mean, I was probably earning more than the bank manager.
I'm sure you were.
You've got to remember I became pregnant in the launch before Cleo launched, and the Packers were very unhappy with me. But my husband and I, we really wanted this next child, and we didn't really see that my career should stop us from having our family. So I got pregnant, and perhaps the timing did leave a bit to be desired, but you can't always choose when you become pregnant. It happens or it doesn't happen. And they thought, I think the Packers thought, Mr. Frank and Kerry thought that maybe, and so did men in management generally, that being pregnant was some kind of illness, you know, that perhaps I wouldn't work. Because remember, it was only a few years before that women in the public service
had to
leave. You couldn't work if you
got married and had to leave.
That's correct. And you certainly couldn't work when you were pregnant. So when I kept working and all the men in management could see that actually I was very healthy and I had a good pregnancy and I was well, a colleague of mine working for one of our subsidiary companies, she'd become pregnant around about the same time. And at that company, KG Murray's, they told her she'd have to go. She was pregnant. And she said, Ida's pregnant, she's working. And so I became a role model and she kept her job too.
What do you think still has to improve?
Probably the way we're welcome in the upper echelons of decision making. You know, there's a lot of talk about
this is from the first woman on the News Limited board.
Yes, I know. That's correct. Well, there is a paucity of women on boards in Australia still, and there's been a lot of talk about it. And I think in the last few months we've risen from 8% to 11%. But I don't think it's the board, really, where women will make the biggest difference. It's really as CEOs of major companies, because that's where change starts. If you're in the boardroom, you're not meant to interfere in the day-to-day running of a business. You know, you're there to offer advice and counsel and look and vet and check. But as a CEO of a major company, you can implement all sorts of changes, and that's where it begins. And I say to women today, look, it's terrific if you want to go to the boardroom, but the place to aim for is CEO. The more women we get up there, the more we'll be able to introduce change. And some of the barriers that still exist against women's advancement in the workplace today, I think, would be eliminated.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap this up. Thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure to be with you.
Ita Buttrose, and her book, A Guide to Australian Etiquette for All Occasions, from Weddings to Work, is published by Penguin. Go to our website for details. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was great.
Good to see you again.
You too.